look up! Look way up!
At the latest in four-wheeler protection, going all the way from front to back. And never look down at new weather stripping, for all of this is an investment in the future of your vehicles. Coming up next on Motorhead Garage.
Gonna fit pretty good. Hey, welcome to Motorhead Garage. Well, you know, a lot of you guys out there have an ATV in your garage. This is a Yamaha Grizzly 700. But they don't come with much protection if you're going to take them out in the woods. Now, what I have right here is a bumper. This is from Bison Bumper, and we're going to be putting a whole bumper system around this thing to give it some extra protection. Now, this is the rear bumper on here. Comes with all the hardware. Everything's complete. You don't really have to drill any holes anywhere. All you have to do is just start to mount it, and we're going to show you exactly how to do it. Now, a couple little tricks on this thing. You may have to do a little fitting, but you want to put your bolts in here, make sure everything lines up, drop them in, and just barely snug them. You want this loose before you get everything on. Once you have everything on, then you can tighten it up. If you don't do that, it's going to be tough for you. But Sam's working on the front bumper right up front.
You know, this particular unit is one of the most popular sellers. It's a great little machine, but you know, a lot of plastic here, the headlights are vulnerable. If you're bouncing this through the woods and hitting heavy brush and stuff, you can do some damage. That's where the Bison Bumper comes in. These things are really well made, and if you look at it, it's got a wrinkle finish on it. It matches the machine, all the parts on it are from the factory. And of course, very well made. They're on a CNC laser cutter, a CNC bender, and the welding is done by Canadian certified welders, similar to the AWI welders here in the United States. Hey, Matt, come on in here and give me a hand here. So I don't scratch things.
Sure
This
thing.
is Matt from Bison Bumper. Make some pretty nice bumpers here. I'll hold this up. You want to put a bolt in there?
Yes, sir.
You get all the hardware with the kit, get a good set of instructions, flat washer on top and bottom of the clamps, put the bolts in like Dave said. We'll run them up a little bit, but we want to make it so we can move them around a little bit. You get that okay? We got this lift up high to accommodate Dave. He's tall. You get that in there? I got these brackets over here. So we'll put these bolts in. There's 4 bolts that hold this on. Now, on the bottom, there's some extra bolts that come. You have some kind of a winch option. What's that all about?
That's put your winch roller on the front so that the winch roller sits right flush with the bumper as opposed to be recessed in the back.
Oh, that's great. And it makes it handy for your winch. So we'll go ahead and bolt this up. Then we'll put on the sidebars. Easy to drop these things, isn't it?
All right, now we're ready to go ahead and install the side rails on here. Again, easy to do. Put them up like so. And it's always a good idea to kind of pre-fit some of this stuff. Okay, Sammy, I'm going to hook that together right there.
That's all swaged right there. That fits on like that.
All right, now you can see what we've done here is we've already mounted this bracket right down here. That's what these hook to. So turn that down, let's slide that under.
This is why you want to leave everything loose so you got a little wiggle room.
Exactly. Wiggle room.
There we go.
Exactly what I like.
Yep. And I'll tell you, Bison Bumper builds these for not only Yamaha, but for Suzuki, Kawasaki, Honda, Can-Am, all of the popular models, and even like on a Honda where the stuff is not wrinkle finish, it's a gloss finish, their product comes gloss finish to match. You know, these are pretty nice for hunters in the woods and stuff, but you know what else they do with these, Dave? They herd cattle with these. You putting washers top and bottom?
Yes, sir.
All right, we won't tighten everything up till we get the other sidebar on.
No, that's the key. Leave it all loose so you can make any slight adjustments that you need.
This really protects these fenders, does a great job, and you can see this would be neat, coming up beside a cattle and give it a little nudge and it move down the road. And you don't have to worry about bringing a vet out for your horse, huh?
Yeah. Wish I had this when I lived on the farm. No, back then it was all walking and hustling them around. You didn't have these things.
Are you whining?
I am whining.
Am I gonna have to relive that again?
Bring this up just a little bit. Don't go too tight on me there, bud.
I'm just getting it in.
I gotta watch you like a hawk.
I know.
Okay. So how you doing on that?
I'm okay.
All right.
That's as tight as I want to go before we fit this other piece.
Yeah. Okay. Well, shall we get the other side started?
Sure.
Do that. Meantime, folks, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we got a whole nother thing we're going to be doing here on Motorhead Garage. But you can see what this looks like It'll be a nice piece when we get it out of here. Stay with us.
This edition of Motorhead Garage, presented by ARP, is being brought to you by Original Parts Group, the world's largest source for GMA body parts and accessories. Custom Auto Sound, the originator of classic car OEM fit radios since 1977. Steel Rubber, quality crafted rubber parts and weather stripping. And by ARP, the world leader in fastener technology.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage. You can see what Davey and I have here today. We got this little Yamaha Viking, pretty rugged little utility vehicle. It's got a tailgate on it, but it's plastic, and there's nothing to protect the back of it. Now this has got 3 seats. You can take the crew, put a lot in the bed, work it hard around the ranch or the farm, but you don't want to damage an expensive vehicle like this. You want to get as much life out of it as you can, so you need something to protect the back. You got me covered there?
I got you covered.
This is Matt. He's from Bison Bumper. Tell us a little about this bumper you make.
Well, CNC welded, CNC bended, powder coated finish to match the Jeep. Everything's covered. We make it for the Viking. We also make it for the Pioneer. We make it for the Brute Force.
Great. And all these brackets, you get the nice set of instructions. Let's go ahead and put this up. Go over there and give me a hand.
All right.
It's bolt on. All right, I've put some bolts through already. There's little holes in the chassis here. You take a bolt and a washer, put this through the hole in the chassis. The bracket lines right up. And they give you the hardware in the kit from Bison. And it's also got the nylock nuts, so when you bolt it up, it's going to stay. And you got 2 bolts aside, and then you got a set of brackets that goes up to the chassis where there's a captured nut. All right, and there's a bolt that goes up here, and that'll protect it. So you make these for a lot of different units now. These things all bolt on. Every one of them comes with good hardware, right?
Yep, and we put some extra hardware for you.
How big is this? What, 1.5 inch steel?
Yep.
It's a pretty nice piece. We'll go ahead and bolt this thing up. And let's take a look and see what Davey's doing up front.
All right, well, Sam's been on the back working. I've been busy up here in front. What we're going to do is mount the front bumper, and this is what it looks like. It's all nicely welded together, powder coated, so it's a nice beefy piece, and it goes on pretty easy too. Got these 4 mounting points right here. It's going to bolt right up here to the original bumper. And then you slide this on like so, hold it. Then we got the hardware that goes with it. What I'll do is I'll just slide this right in here initially just to hold this up so it won't fall off. That way I can go ahead, put all the rest of them on there, and we'll get this one started, and then I get the bottom 2 on there, and then we'll be in business. Now you want to leave this stuff kind of loose, only because if you don't, you try to tighten everything up, and then you try to put other things on it. It doesn't work too well. So we'll do it like so. There we go. What's nice about it too, it's got those nice nylock nuts. Makes it work real well. Get this nut on. And then we're ready to go around here. Now, Matt, if you want to give me a hand, while this is loose, we'll go ahead. We're going to put this side rail on. These 2 bolts right here come with the kit. Now here's what they look like. These are nice stainless steel bolts, as you can see. What we did is we removed the original equipment bolts. Now you want to make sure that you take one out at a time, put another bolt in. Otherwise, if you get these bolts out of here, it's almost impossible to get 2 bolts back in it. So we've already done that. Now let's slide this in here, Matt. Got her lined up there. Turn it down a little bit there so we can twist it. There you go. Keep going. Now you just walk that right up there to these 2 where it's supposed to go. There's one in there, and there we got the other one started. Okay, there we go. Now we put our nuts and washers on there. And we'll get this tightened up and we'll be in business. Go ahead and put your washer nut on there. And now you get an idea, you can see exactly how this is all gonna go. So we'll get this tightened up on this side. We'll do the same thing on the other side. And when we have this all done, you can see it's gonna look pretty nice. Okay, let's go ahead and tighten these up, Matt. All right. Okay, all right. Well, we're gonna go ahead and finish this up. In the meantime, we're gonna take a short break. When we come back, we got a lot more here on Motorhead Garage, so stay with us. Okay, Matt, you're not quitting yet. Come on, get on this thing. There we go.
Motorhead Garage, presented by ARP, coming to you from Borla Commerce Park.
Wow, what an old car. You know, a lot of folks have these things. They're either restoring them or they're driving around, but one thing that goes bad on them is the weather stripping. And we've got Walter Vaughn here from Steel Rubber who can show us how to replace a lot of this. And one of the big problems, Walter, is this seal back here on the trunk.
Looks like they did it really quick. They just like threw some weather strip adhesive and closed the lid. It's kind of messed up. It's not even laying in there right. It's kind of crooked. We can do a whole lot better job than they did.
You know, I see a lot of people doing that, and it doesn't look like, it looks like an amateur did it, but you're going to show us how to do it the pro way, right?
Yep.
Okay, so what's the first step?
First thing we're going to do is going to take the old weather strip out.
All right, so we can just go ahead and pull this out.
Yep.
Now, they got this glued in there pretty good.
Now, Dave, in this corner here, they put a lot of weather strip adhesive, so what I'm going to have to do is use a tool here to get it out. So I'm going to jam that in there.
That's the way it works a lot of times. You know, they get part of it glued in there real well, then another part not glued at all. Okay, Walter, we got this out. Now, folks, get this old weather stripping out. The real key on this, then, is to get this prepped, right?
Yeah, so we're going to use some weather strip cleaner. So what I'm going to do is going to take it, it's just standard stuff we carry this, and I'm going to spray the perimeter.
And what's that do?
This cleans it, makes it so that the weather strip adhesive will go in place, and we clean this really well.
Any old rubber in there, it'll help dissolve that too?
Yep.
And the glue and what's left. Okay, so you just let this set?
Let it sit for a few seconds.
Okay.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our shop rag, and here's a neat little trick, is I need to get in there, but I don't want to scratch the paint or anything. So I'm going to do this tool here, and I'm going to go in and just rub inside there and clean it. See how nice that gets it cleaned out?
Oh, yeah. Well, let me get this other rag over here, and I'll help you.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying right here, man. That cleans that up real nice. Well, that'd be easier if that trunk lid was off, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And if you need to go back in a couple times, just spray it and let it soak in.
Okay, now we got the channel all cleaned and all prepped. One of the things you want to do is make sure you check these instructions before you start. Always a good way to go, isn't it, Walter?
We'll make sure it's going to fit, because how this type of weather strip works is it fits into a channel and it locks in, and this piece has to lay outside the car. So what we're going to do is we're going to test fit and make sure we lay it in that way, all right?
Okay, so this is going to lay out this way, okay?
Okay, so let's go around the car.
All right.
So you grab it, hand it to me. There we go.
Well, you send enough of it, that's for sure.
Well, we make it so it fits every GM car. What we're going to do now, Dave, is we want to make sure that our joint is down here where the latch is. Okay, we want to make sure we have about the same amount left over. But first what we're going to do is we're going to kind of get it close to how it's going to fit.
Okay.
So we just kind of like lay it in there. Not real tight, but not real loose.
Yeah, it fits in there pretty nice like that.
Yep. The next thing we want to do is put our joint right here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We don't want to be too tight, but we want to be tight. So I'm going to probably give like an inch to this way and about an inch on this side as well, so that when they come together, we can make a real tight bond. So the next thing we're going to do is take it out of here, move it out of the way,
Okay.
and we've got to have some weather strip adhesive put in place. Now this is super weather strip adhesive, and it sets in about 5 minutes total, so we don't have to wait an awful long time, but we also don't want to fool around with it too much. And all you need is a real thin line. So we're just going to put a real thin line, just run it around the perimeter.
Yeah, a lot of guys make a mistake of just glomming a lot of that adhesive in there, don't they?
That's the last thing you need.
And this only takes just a few minutes to set up.
Yep. All right, let's make sure that's aimed the right way. So there's the channel, and this part lays out. So this is the part that would go that way.
Right, so you want that to lay out. That's where people make a mistake, don't they?
So I'm going to start right here, and I'll start putting it in the channel, and we just start laying it in. I'll let you take that part. I'm going to work on this part over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that this catches on the lip like this on both sides. See, I'm coming back and forth, trying to catch it in the box.
Now, if these guys at home don't have a little tool like that, what could they use?
I wouldn't recommend a screwdriver. Well, we have these on our website. You can order them. Go to www.steelrubber.com and get you as many as you need.
I tell you what I've done is I've used just an old popsicle stick.
That'll work.
Okay, well, let me get around here. Since I'm taller and I can reach farther, I get this job, right?
Yep.
I knew it. That's the way it always is, you know. Hell, you're as bad as sand. Okay, Walter, now show me how you're going to make that fine seam there.
Okay, the first thing I want to do is, I got it really close, that's good. And I want to line it up, and I'm just going to eyeball it from on top here. And again, now, instead of being like a couple inches extra, I want to be like maybe a 1/4 inch long on each side. So I'm going to cut one, because you only get one shot at this. Because once you cut the end of it off, you're done. And then I'm going to do that one. And there, just a little bit more I got to take off. Might have to do this 2 or 3 times.
You're not going to be like me where you cut it 3 times and it's still too short?
Yeah.
I think you got it right.
Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some adhesive on both ends of it. That's the trick that most people miss, is I want to put a little bit on each end. And this I do want to put a little bit extra on because I want to make sure that sticks. Put it on both ends. And then I want to push them in and get it in the channel.
So you really want to have just enough oil there so you can compress that, and it makes a nice tight seal that way.
Yep.
If you do it right, you almost can't hardly see that seal, right?
That's it.
All right.
There we go.
Now you're talking about here the difference between your seal and the old here. The difference in softness, it's unbelievable. This is a lot softer, give you a lot more life.
Exactly, and it'll seal better too because it's not so hard where the lid can fit where it needs to go.
Okay, so we'll let this sit for a little while and then close the lid. We'll be in good shape. We're going to take a short break. We got a lot more coming here, so stay with us. Okay, man, this is amazing, Walter. This old stuff is bad.
This edition of Motorhead Garage, presented by ARP, is being brought to you by Warren Diesel, doing our best to bring you quality parts at an affordable price. Ultra Dent, manufacturer of paintless dent repair tools. Borla, the world's most winning exhaust. And by Fast Shelter, the premier manufacturer of inflatable workstations.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage. Well, I'm like the inspector here. I'm checking the job out that Dave and Walter did. They did a really nice installation, particularly when they made the joint where the rubber comes together here at the latch, sealing it up right. It looks good. It's going to work good. Going to seal up the trunk. You don't get water in to destroy what's in the trunk, the mat, or even worse yet, start to rot out the floor pan. By the way, the trunk's still open. Remember, in the instructions, it says, let that super weather strip adhesive set up before you close it up. All right, Walter. Now you're going to work with me. You're going to show me some things. What are we doing here?
Well, Sam, what we're going to do is we're going to work in this quarter window area. So we're going to replace this lock pillar filler or U-jam filler and also this leading edge weather strip.
Okay. Now I see we got one here for the other side. And you guys make this and it's molded in one piece?
Molded out of one piece of rubber. We make it with a brass core on the inside. We use brass so it doesn't ever rust.
I see it's stiff there, so it's got a brass core inside here. What do the OEs use?
They use metal, and it typically would rust after a period of time.
Great. Comes out with a couple screws.
2 screws, and I have those right out.
And you know, you want to take care of these seals, anything that you got when you want to seal up a car, particularly a convertible. Water infiltration, you know, tears up your carpets, rots the floors, ruins your interior, and it's not that hard to do. I can make it look hard, but Walt can make it look easy.
That piece is out.
Yep.
And then the other piece, if we're lucky, we can just tug on it and it's going to come right out. Look at that. Oh, we're lucky here.
Oh, so this channel here is affixed to the glass.
This part is always attached to the glass. We don't supply that part. This never wears out. But this part does. And you'll notice on the bottom of this, you see where that's rusted right there? That was made with a metal core at one time, and a little bit of water gets in there and it starts rusting. Doesn't look good. And that looks like that's a replacement part and it's already rusting.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is the new one.
This is the new one. Now, we make ours typically with a brass core, so that's, again, going to last a lot longer.
Okay. You have to put anything on there to make it slip in?
It should slide in. If it doesn't, put a little bit of soapy solution in there, a little bit of water and some soap, and it should slide right up.
Okay, that's a good tip. You don't want to use silicone. Silicone, keep it away from body shops and stuff, because it always gives you paint pops and solvent
And
pops.
you get about halfway and it doesn't go anymore, you pull the top, and there we go.
Nice job.
Nice and fit. Look how nice that is. And it's soft, and when the glass comes in, it's going to grab that and make a nice tight seal. Winds, rain, nothing's going to get through there.
That's nice, and that was easy to do. And of course, if you've got a good quarter window with a nice chrome strip, just replace that, and you won't have the rusty deal because it's got brass.
It looks great.
All right.
Let's put the U-jam filler in.
Okay, let's get the new one that's on that side. What if I got the right one here? We want this one, correct?
There you go. Now, I've got some screws here, but this doesn't even look like the replacement screws that came in the car originally, so let's have some new screws.
Yeah, if you can see these screws here, they're rusty. Now, the OEs were probably black anodized or something. Don't put rusty screws back in. You can go to any of the parts stores or, you know, we go to the shows, all the guys are selling stainless steel, so Put a couple of nice stainless screws in there.
Now you see this has got a little bit of a tab, so what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that tab gets caught inside there, and then we'll slide this in there like that.
So now, is this easy to do with the window up or down? Doesn't matter.
Well, at this point, it's not a big deal.
Okay.
To get it out, you want to have that up. You can't get it out otherwise.
Okay.
And we'll put the screw in there.
And of course, make sure the screws don't have a big head that protrudes. That way you don't get scratching in the door. And that looks like it's going to fit fine.
Yep. And we'll put this one in.
Then we can do the other side. That's nice.
Now, the one thing I noticed on this other one while I wanted to replace it is this little bit of a tab here is not in there that good. Give me a little bit of that weather strip adhesive, and what we're going to do is to make this really pretty.
So you want me to get this on my hands, huh?
No, no. And what we're going to do is we're just going to put a little bit of a dot right in here.
Okay.
And we're going to hold that for a couple seconds and let that set up, and we're done.
It's kind of an air dry. You put it together, pull it apart, and then stick it back on?
Yep.
Yep.
And there we go.
That's great. Make sure you don't get black on this white interior. All right, now, you know, when you look at this convertible, it's got a seal at the top that's on the top here.
We manufacture the roof rails and the part that goes across the front bow.
Ah,
So, in fact, we manufacture all the rubber parts for this car. We manufacture the door weather strips. We've got these seals across the top of the windows, the door bumpers, the trunk bumpers, the under hood bumpers. If it's rubber, we've got it for this car.
well, I hope you learned something about sealing up your car, applying all these nice products. It's a great way to go to take care of your vehicle. All the time we have this week, so we'll see you next time here at Motorhead Garage. Well, buddy, thanks for coming by and telling me all about this.
Well, thanks for having me, Sam.
Now we got us a rat's nest here. How'd I get this in a knot?
I'm not sure. There we go.